Hi, I'm Brian Malow, and we are live from Lindau, Germany, the site of the 73rd annual Lindau Nobel Laureate meeting. There are over 630 young scientists here this year and about 35 Nobel laureates. It's a physics meeting, so most of the people here are physicists, except me, as you know. But as a result of the COVID pandemic, a few years ago, Lindau incorporated some virtual activities. So like in 2020, there was a completely virtual meeting and also the first Sciathon. The Sciathon is like a hackathon. It's a 48-hour project where, in this case, this year, 10 different teams participated. And the idea was, an idea was pitched by a team, and the ideas all came from Lindau alumni. So Rebecca Meisner, you attended?
In 2019. So
in 2019. Was that a physics meeting?
That was a physics meeting too, yes.
Okay, so she attended in 2019, and for the Sciathon, a team, you pitched some ideas were submitted. They were solicited from the entire Lindau alumni network, and the most interesting 10 projects were selected. And then teams were formed for each project, and the teams consisted of up to 10 people located all over the world in different time zones. And so the result was there were 3 teams chosen as finalists. And this part is really interesting, and it ties into the whole Lindau Educate, Inspire, Connect, which is this motto for the meeting. And the connecting has a lot to do with the young scientists you meet at the meetings, the comedians you meet, whoever you can connect with. But in this case, Lindau has done something really interesting with the Sciathon, which is connecting these finalists with business experts and possible investors and advisors. So these are early stage project ideas that may go on beyond the Sciathon.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, like everyone that participated in the Sciathon, it was a worthy 48 hours and interesting and fun. And some of the projects were invented for this Sciathon. But I think your project, so I'm here with Rebecca and Johannes Posler, and your project idea came before the Sciathon, right?
Yes, actually, yes. So we're both physicists by training, and we have a good friend of ours, and she got pregnant and wanted to do something for the climate, be more climate friendly, live more climate friendly. So she started off by taking cold showers, leaving her car in the garage. So just
to lessen her impact.
Yes, exactly. To do something, but. Although it's very nice to do something by yourself, it also sometimes feels small or inefficient. So we try to find something where you can do something small, but with big impact. And
like less convenience problems and still more impact. That was the idea, really.
So, and I should say there was a theme for the Sciathon, and it was
physics as a driver of the sustainable world.
Yeah, so it was sort of like a sustainable world. So these projects, and I'll be talking to the other 2 teams as well, and the projects are physics-based, but addressing energy efficient issues, environmental issues, sustainability issues.
exactly.
So tell me what your project is.
Do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
So our project is about making open source software more efficient. Open source software basically is in every software, you can say, and with very little improvements in the energy efficiency of those software bits, you can have a high impact just simply because of the fact how often these software bits are used. So you actually have some code, you improve it very little, for example, just by 1%, but by the sheer percentage it is being used afterwards in other software, it has such a huge impact. And we actually have made a little calculation, and assuming that by the year of 2030, about, what did we say, 40%, 30%?
I think it was 20. Yeah.
Let's see.
A lot of
So,
energy.
a lot of energy, between 20 and 30%. is within the how did we call it?
IT in general.
IT industry. This 1% energy efficiency improvement would make up a whole lot of what 4 coal power plants would produce per year. So, and I think that really makes clear how a little improvement can make such a huge big difference.
So the idea is software code is often inefficient and requires more energy to run than is necessary.
Exactly.
If you could make the code a little better, a little smarter and more efficient, it would use less energy. And running a piece of software one time doesn't mean very much. But
No.
that software, like I was trying to understand, like I know we already discussed this off camera, but that why open source software versus proprietary stuff like Apple? Because the couple examples you used in your presentation involved little tiny pieces of software that run on mobile devices.
For example, yeah,
Yeah.
but not only. So the ones we used were, I think, the SQLite driver for JDBC. So SQLite is a database that is probably in use on almost all Android phones.
So billions of phones.
Millions of devices. That was just one example. And there are many more. So if you go dig deep in the apps, there's always an open source license section, and they list all the
Right.
libraries they use.
You showed me how WhatsApp has like, so yeah, I would have, like my assumption, that was my question, like why open source? But it turns out most of our devices, and Apple might be an exception because they're very proprietary, but these Android phones and other devices are, look at that one. Yeah, some sort of old school airplane. Sorry, a little ADHD there, I guess. But it just turns out that there is so much open source software just in WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So if you could make each of those a little bit more efficient.
That would sum up to something
But
enormous.
how do you do it? Is the idea to build a company that's doing this, or is it to enlist, like, this sounds like a lot of manpower
Yeah,
required.
probably, but not even too much given the scale of like saving the climate. So in that scope, it's not that much, we think. And we're not quite sure whether it's going to be a commercial company or some sort of non-profit. Well, we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah,
But
I think that was also really nice from the Sciathon and the feedback we got, because we were initially thinking about some non-profit organization, but they gave us some good input points where you could also make it commercial, and I think that was really helpful for us to continue with our idea.
Very exciting to hear too, right? Oh, it could be commercial, eh? So, tell me a little bit. So you're both physicists, and like what sort of, but not necessarily software developers.
I actually am in the software
You are,
industry.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm not a software developer, but I do work with software developers a lot. And quite often we have the problem that something just doesn't feel as fast as it possibly could be. And I just go ahead and nag them a little bit. Hey guys, maybe you want to have a look again? Can you maybe just check it out? And they always find something there. Oh yeah, that was actually easy. We fixed that now. It's 10 times faster. And it happens so often. And given the sheer amount of open source projects and the huge usage these projects have, I think it might be worthwhile to have some sort of coordinated effort to like go through them one by one and see what we can do.
Yeah,
Improve them.
excellent. And what about you, Ruka? What's your area of specialty in physics?
Well, I'm a physicist by training, so I studied in Aachen, and where I focused on astroparticle physics. Then I had some Erasmus days in Guildford in England, moved back to Aachen, and finally got for my PhD to Innsbruck in Austria, where I did some molecular physics. And after that, I decided I wanted to peek into industry a little more, into R&D departments, and now I'm actually working with a company who's producing smart binoculars. So
Excellent. So using your optics, physics,
yeah, exactly.
knowledge, yeah. So in fact, you told me a little something. That sounded really interesting. Did you say smart binoculars?
Exactly.
What are smart binoculars?
Yeah,
what
that's-
makes them smart?
That's something really new and exciting, as I think. So maybe most people know binoculars as like these optical devices you can look through, and you can actually get closer to things you want to observe. And just this year we launched smart binoculars, which is to say you can peek through your binoculars, detect a bird, and just you push a button and the binocular are going to tell you which bird that is. And I think that's really amazing, because often you just look at things you're really interested what that is, you want further information, and now they're available.
So that's like I have an app on my phone that comes out of Cornell University with their big ornithology department, and it's the Merlin app that does the same with audio. You can listen to bird sounds and it'll identify them for you.
Yeah. I think it's nice to combine both two.
So smart binoculars, very cool.
I
So
wonder how much open source software the Merlin app uses.
there you go. Maybe you can start saving the planet. I'll be talking to the other groups and I can ask them about different aspects of the Sciathon, but so I know you're not actually an attendee and you're a previous attendee, but you've both got a taste of Lindau, and just tell me something about your impressions of the meeting.
I think Lindau meetings are unique. I think everybody who's been there or has been here would agree with that. You just walk into the Inselhalle and everybody is so excited. Everybody wants to connect. There's from minute to one chit-chattering all around. People are getting connected and it feels international. It's just the Lindau spirit.
Yeah. Did you get a taste of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just 24 hours I've been attending were enough to get a taste of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then just briefly, you just presented to a room of really interesting partners. There are a lot of pieces to the Lindau meeting, and it takes a lot to put on an event like this. And so there are a lot of partners, financial partners and other kinds of partners. And then a lot of them are like interested in investing in science projects. So what was it like to present your project today?
Oh, it was tremendously exciting. I think after the Sciathon and having this group of 10 people who were so engaged, we really felt another spirit, just extending the idea and then coming here and having this audience. It even increased this feeling.
Yeah.
And
So
we met them for the first time. As you mentioned, the Sciathon was virtually, and now it was the first time the group actually saw each other.
Oh, that's
in real
right.
life.
So how many people were on your team?
10.
There were 10, spread out around the globe in different time zones and working together virtually for 48 hours, but then you all met.
Yeah,
finally.
we met the team members, we met the partners from industry, and it was really exciting to see what feedback they had for our idea and how they could help. And I think we made some really interesting and important connections, which we will definitely contact in future.
Yeah, excellent. I know you have some meetings coming up.
Yeah.
So you got some really great feedback. So thanks for talking to me. And I'm going to be back shortly speaking with the other two teams. But congratulations. I'm
Thank
glad
you
it
so
went
much.
so well. And good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Bye.